Byron, as you well know, living in South Africa is sort of a full-time job, and for the most part, because the state doesn't really exist at all. And yesterday there was a viral video of what I would call the Rambo of Klerksdorp. For those who don't know where Klerksdorp is, it's to the south of Joburg. I think it's in the Free State, but think about 2 hours south of Johannesburg. And quickly, let us just go through the video, and afterwards we'll give you a breakdown and explain why this is such an important video to have for a sort of South African mindset. So here it is. Be aware the sound isn't on because there's lots of swearing and YouTube doesn't like that. So anyway, here it is. So as you can see, the man is surrounded by 5 people around his Toyota Fortuna, and this is what happens. So what you see there is 5, 6 guys surround a family. There are people in the car, which is supposedly the family of the man with the knife that you saw. And from what I understand, and based on what I've seen in the video, Byron, you tell me, 5 guys surround the vehicle. They distract him. 3 of them distract him. 2 of them go around. They almost scare the poor woman out of her wits. She tries to open the door. The man closes the door, but he's got a knife now, and then he is attacking and defending himself, and they just nonchalantly walk away. Another day in the life of a typical South African.
Yeah, so I think if you look at the vehicle or if you look at the video, there's a couple of things you can notice. The first is, as Ramon says, there are a number of individuals. Where you'll notice the other two is they're actually behind the vehicle, so you can see their feet. You can see their feet. They're looking at the ways of entry. The man has a knife drawn. Obviously, the individuals are going for. They're making signs to show that they're going towards him. The wife looks like she might be in the driver's seat. You can't tell because you can see her face looking out the window, but you also can't tell if she's leaning over, as maybe that's a potential way for her to get out the car because obviously this guy's on the other side. But what you can see is the man draws a knife, and obviously he scares off the individuals because he's showing aggression and a willingness to stab him. And he obviously makes a number of lunges for them, and one of them misses, being slashed to death by centimeters. So well done, John Rambo. We don't know who
Yeah.
you are. If you actually want to come on the show and have a chat to us, drop us a bell. We'll welcome an interview with you, and you can tell us what happened. But for now, we're going to call you John Rambo, Rambo of Klerksdorp. And there's a couple things that go on in this. So I spent 15 years teaching martial arts around the world. There's a couple of things I suppose that we should all kind of take note here. The first is, one thing to notice about criminals: criminals don't want to get caught. They don't actually want to get hurt. They want to get in, they want to get out, and they want to get in and out really quickly. So the more of a fight you put up, the less time they're going to spend, because there's more chance of them being caught or somebody else coming to aid. And you can see that in the individuals. So the
Mm.
individuals are going in and they're coming out. The other
Yep.
thing is, no criminal wants to be hurt. Just like you don't want to be hurt, they don't want to be hurt either. And so if you notice there's something specifically that the man does that actually gets them more to kind of run away, and that's he starts to scream. The reason that becomes important is because screaming drags attention. However, this is South Africa. You can get as much attention as you want, but no one's coming to your rescue. So what you'll see is that the man is there, he's screaming his lungs out, he's lunging at individuals. There's no one that actually comes to the aid. The guys get away, they run off, and that's the end of it. But the key component here, and it's something for everybody to notice: the more you stand up for yourself to these kind of thugs, the more they just kind of run away. These
Mm.
people don't want to be hardcore criminals. They want to be opportunistic. They want to get in there and steal what they can. And if they see you and they deem you a vulnerable victim, they're out of there. Okay, so they're going to go, if they're there and they're vulnerable, they're going to come in, they're going to get it, they're going to get that out. Okay, this man here looks vulnerable. Why does he look vulnerable? Because he's elderly. But what they haven't counted on is the man has got a crocodile Dundee type
Yeah.
knife.
Huge
I'm
knife. I
kind of
mean,
en-
we
I'm
both,
I'm envious of it.
yeah, we both carry knives on a daily basis. But okay, I'm not going to show you mine. But my knife, nothing else, is like that big. It's really just a defensive tool. It doesn't need to be reloaded, and it's useful in case your gun gets
Hmm.
away from you or whatever the case
Okay,
might be.
well, unlike Ramon, I will show you mine. So I carry a Microtech, which is a flick blade, and the blade's like that long. Okay, it's a defensive knife. It's for stabbing. It's not a very big knife. It's a pocket
Mm.
knife, really. I mean, it's for defense, but it's a pocket knife. Same knife John Wick has. Ramon's knife ain't that dissimilar in size. So most of us aren't carrying machetes like
Yeah, like this
what this guy's
gentleman.
carrying is.
So,
Yeah.
so we love this man, and we think he did a great job. A few issues. Number one, get a gun, man. Like, if this
Mm.
video, if you're still on the fence for some reason, I mean, this man could have gone out of the situation in 2 seconds flat. You shoot one person, the rest will flee and act like they are on fire, right? A gun has that thing. Number two, a gun brings attention. If you fire a shot, people know where the shot's coming from. They understand that there's a situation. There's a lot more help coming towards you.
There's also a
But
sense of urgency.
yeah,
There's a sense of urgency. People hear gunshots, they react in an urgent manner. People don't know what's happening with this individual because it's just voices. Gunshots creates a lot of fear and they creates a lot of immediate action. You need that. So even for the criminals, one shot in the air and everybody knows what's going on. Nobody's disputing that. They know what's going on.
yeah, and most importantly to me, his everything else other than his tools did help. The knife did help, but his mindset, his assertiveness, his unwillingness to be bent and broken by opportunistic thugs is really the determining factor in this fight. Simple as that.
100%.
The man is not he's John Rambo to us, but he's not Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger big. I doubt he's got Krav Maga. I doubt he's like been in martial arts for 20 years, whatever the case might be. All he's left with is a tool, a knife, which is good, but also, most importantly, the mindset to use it. Many
Mm.
people who don't train with their tools freeze, right? If they got a cell phone, someone comes to them, they hold onto the cell phone and don't draw their weapon. This is the first tactic you use, like in combat shooting. Drop whatever's in
Yeah.
your hand, go for your gun. But
Okay,
for
but
everything else, this
that
is
reaction's
yeah,
called start or flinch. So
yeah,
start or flinch is you get it's a coined phrase by Bauer, and Bauer basically described it. They recognize it on police officers. So police officer will go, he goes to go over a suspect to cuff him, and the officer flinches, which means that he ends up pulling his trigger and he shoots the guy. That's what trigger control is so important. A lot of people do that. So I'm telling you, even police officers do that. So you have to train yourself out of that mindset. If a police officer can do it, imagine what you can do with just a cell phone. Like startle flinch is a real thing, and it's that most of us know it as the deer in the headlights reality. So most people are aware of it.
yeah, yeah. So that comes with training and owning of a firearm, and of course, it's your duty as a firearm owner to train with that particular tool. But as I was saying, the most important element of this entire video is that mindset to not be a victim. This is, I would argue, I've read a lot about this, even psychologically, even using scientific research. The story you
Mm.
tell yourself about yourself and the world in that time often determines the outcome that you want it to be. Right? I've been in a few situations when I was young on a farm and things like that. As soon as you understand that A, you're under attack, and B, that this is your house, and C, you're going to defend it at all costs, that mindset is the very difference between winning and losing an engagement.
Mm.
And that is what we see in this video extremely well. And it's something that we should all take to heart as South Africans. I'm not saying be twitchy or be anxious or whatever the case might be. Just be aware. And then when needed, that mindset comes out that I will not be a victim. And number two, I will use the tools at my disposal to defend my life. And most importantly, my family who's in the car right next to me.
Mm. So there's a number of things that have been documented. There's a book on this. So for anybody who's really interested, it's called Protecting the Gift. So protecting the gift was a study done on people that have basically shifted their mindsets in order to protect their loved ones. And it basically chronicles very small women that would end up defending their kids against like armed intruders 5 times their size, and they were able to overpower people because of that mind shift change, which is I need to protect my kids, my family with whatever means I have possible. The last thing you should do is just kind of roll over and die. Now, I'm very conscious of the fact that the criticisms we're going to get to even saying what we're saying, they're going to go, yes, but South Africa is a very violent place. People will come there and they'll get you, and they'll have guns and they'll have knives, and then they'll pin you down and you'll be helpless and you won't be able to fight. And we're clueless because we don't know what the real world is like. Man, like we live here too. Like we've all been victims of crime, and that's why we carry guns. So the potential the main kind of theme here is this: carry a gun, because the gun is the best equalizer you can get when surrounded by numbers that are there, and they're overrunning you with numbers. Man, a gun is the equalizer unlike nothing else on the planet. Gun free South Africa will tell you that actually you're more likely to be killed with your own gun. So actually not having a gun is safer for you. But the data surrounding that is false. The guy who they quote to back up their study, he himself has wrote on Africa Checked, the fact checkers of all people, to say Gun Free South Africa's claim is false. And we ourselves, both Ramon and I, from personal experience, will say it's false. Now, you must say, and that will be the natural consequence of what we're now saying. The answer we're going to get and the criticism we're going to get is this: they're going to be, well, it takes such a long time to get a gun. Okay, well, what takes longer? You to get a gun or your kids to mourn your death? So, what are you going to do? Go through the process. It doesn't matter how long it takes. If it takes 2 years, 2 years is 2 years. But death is permanent. There's no tomorrow. Like when you're dead, you're dead. Your kids have to mourn there for the rest of their life. It's better for you to start the process and get the process completed. This man is lucky. We salute him. Rambo of Klerksdorp, we salute you. But you were lucky. You were very, very lucky. Had you had a gun, the equalize would have been immediate. Okay, so that's really kind of the moral of the story. And I think that's what Ramon, I think that's what you're hoping to achieve as a message as well.
Absolutely, and most importantly is the mindset. The mindset. It sounds Oprah. It sounds like Dr. Phil. It's been corrupted by the Americans mostly. But once again, the our lives is the story we tell ourselves and the world. And if you tell the story that my mindset is to defend myself, to defend my family, to defend my property, and I'll have the tools around me to do it, and I'll be trained in those tools, whether it be a dog, a knife, a gun, whatever the case might be. Once you have that mindset, you will live a wonderful life in South Africa. If you don't have that mindset, you immigrate to Australia and wear a mask the rest of your life, which is fun, which is your absolute right to do.
Choice.
That's certainly not the choices I will ever make in my life either.
Yeah.
But the mindset is
The,
important.
the options are you can be a slave to Justin Trudeau in Canada, where if you mention that your boy is a boy and your girl is a girl, you prohibited from leaving your state and you can get personally sued. Real story, look it up. Right. The alternative is you can go to Australia and be imprisoned in a COVID camp because, your health. Or you can go to England where climate lockdowns are important because, like 40 degrees weather, like that's never happened to anybody before. This is your options. Or you can stay here and protect yourself and look after your life. You might go, yeah, South Africa's dangerous. South Africa's only as dangerous as you want it to be. Yeah, okay, numbers are there. People are criminals. People are also opportunistic. People aren't kind of going out there in the middle of Joburg, CBD, or Klerksdorp, or wherever, and going, I want to kill some whiteys. What they're actually saying is they just want to kind of steal something from you and get out there. Like it's opportunistic crime. It's up to you and the way that you protect yourself, whether or not you can protect yourself in a good way. I'm not saying it's always possible, and we're not being unrealistic, but what we are saying is shift your mindset, get trained, get a gun, and that will improve your prospects. And that's all we say. Improve your prospects, go home to your family, look after your family. Take every opportunity you can to be able to protect them in any way possible. That's all anybody could say.
Yep, indeed. And without any further ado, I think that is a good way to end the video. Thank you for watching, everyone. See you in the next one. Bye bye.
Cheers. Bye.